Hey, hello everybody. So we are here for a new episode of the Audacious Explorer, and today here with us is Aditi Wardhan Singh. She's a positivity coach. Sorry, I got excited.
Oh, that's
And
fine.
we are gonna hear from her everything that she's up to. And I'm really, really psyched because she's helping the parents, she's providing parents the tools that they need to grow future world leaders. So I'm really, really psyched to hear all about it. Hi, Aditi.
Hi, Anka. I'm so glad to be here to share my message and a little bit about my upcoming project with everyone here.
Yeah, cool. So we just started talking about what is it that you are doing? Very specifically, how are you empowering parents to create like a better relationship with their kids?
Well, let me start from the beginning. When I have been blogging off and on since a long time, and I have always found myself trying to tell parents out there about finding the silver lining in their life because life is difficult for every single one of us. But isn't it awesome to be able to get the positive note on anything, any disaster that you are experiencing, be it potty training, be it the child going off to kindergarten, those kind of things. So,
Yeah.
but I have always strove to write about how the culture around me has affected my life because I was born and brought up in Kuwait and I'm an Indian by birth. So for the majority of my life, I was pretty confused. And I know my kids are definitely more confused because they are finding it so difficult. My son says, "But I'm American. Then why do I need to know Indian stuff? And then, but why do we go to Kuwait?" And he's like, and I was writing my book about it. I've been blogging seriously for a year now. And
Mhm.
I decided to write a book for myself. And when I was writing, it occurred to me that when I want to talk about culture, why not have a platform, a global platform with parents and people, not just parents, writers from around the world talking about their life and how culture, their surrounding culture and their personal culture affects their life and thus their parenting. So that would be a wonderful resource for parents to have to read about it because not all of us can travel the world. I mean, once you become a parent, it's very hard to do that. I mean, I
Okay, so it
end
uh,
of doing that. All right, sorry.
sorry, it cut for a little bit. So you were saying
Oh,
that when you become a parent, it's more difficult to travel, and then
yes, exactly. So, raising children as global thought leaders, we need to equip them with tools and the thinking of how different parts of the world are. And most of us live in our bubbles, which is about our life and our culture and our heritage. But what if you could see everyone's life, a snippet of everyone's life? So that would be wonderful. So
yeah.
that's what I'm working now, my new upcoming magazine, which is Raising World Children. We are launching on May 21st. Fingers crossed. But right now we have like 85 writers from around the world writing with us. And I'm so excited. We even have a section for children where children are going to create artwork and write and think about a country different from their own. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Wow, that's really, really I really like that part, the part where the kids will actually be able to write
Yes,
about the activities.
Yes, I'm so excited to have children involved in this because, of course, when you want children to be part of the conversation, you need to find a way to get them thinking about something new. And what better way to get kids excited than creating art or writing a story or doing anything?
And I think that goes really hand in hand with what your purpose is to actually help these children develop into the leaders of tomorrow. We tend to have this patronizing behavior towards kids, like we know best. And actually, there were lots of studies, and I've been working with an organization that brought kids to the to the meeting table, to the decision table, and asked them, so okay, we are talking about your rights here, what is your opinion about this? And actually they had a really good input. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't childish all candy talk. So how is it for you?
Oh, it is exciting. Actually, I have been underestimating kids myself. I mean, only recently in January, I found out a couple of fellow bloggers who are bringing forth children who are as young as 4 years old, writing novels or writing comics. And I was like, and I see artwork of my friends' kids who are really small and they're doing such amazing work. And I'm like, why not have kids write something, because if you want to get them thinking. And even my son, he has so many insights to the simplest things, like, most of them have common questions, like, why is my skin different? I mean, every single kid nowadays has that question. One of the first questions that make you wake up as a parent is like, why is my skin color different than everyone else? Or why are we celebrating this when the other kids are not? Why can't I just celebrate Christmas and I'm done? I'm like, okay, we are celebrating Christmas because I love Christmas, because I've always celebrated it as a child, but we need to celebrate our festivals as well. So it's interesting to see children's perspective and get them involved and listen to them, because children have a voice, and to empower them, we need to make them understand the fine balance of walking the line in everything in life, because moderation is key to everything, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful and enriching when kids get to like be in an environment where they can celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah and like,
Exactly.
yeah. And it's very funny because we also had this kind of talks about how it is that you as a parent can better support the curiosity that the children like naturally have without imposing your agenda and saying this is how things are supposed to be.
Definitely, because in parenting, we always have that fine, like I said, the fine line to walk when we say that, this is how it is, versus listening to them. Like, even for clothes, I say, I have fought with my son like anything, I don't want to wear this, I don't want to wear that. And then I realized, why am I fighting so much? The night before, I decided to give him two choices. This is my choice, and out of this, now you choose. So then if you give them a path to walk on, then they walk pretty much right, but you need to give them that the environment in which they can make right decisions, because no one is born making right decisions. We as parents make immense mistakes, especially with our firstborn.
So, absolutely, you practice first and then the second one is all perfect.
Yes. And many things you start doing and then you undo them, trying to undo it. So yeah, that's a lot of what parenting is about.
Wow, that's really relieving. I have a lot of questions around that too, because I am thinking about myself. So I don't have kids quite yet, right?
Oh, right.
But I've been around kids and I helped other people like bring up their kids, and I saw it with my parents a lot. There was always this pressure, I think, somehow from the inside, somehow from society, for them to be the perfect parents and to like be flawless, and in front of me to be flawless. And I think that's a little bit dangerous, right? Because I appreciated when they were human and I could see that they also stained their very new white shirt with ketchup because they were like greedy, or they just enjoyed that hot dog. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always say that we as people are all in similar boats. Like, all of us are struggling, right? But every single boat has a different storm around them and different water conditions and different weather. And, it is very difficult. I mean, everyone says that, oh, you should not be doing that. And yes, some things are that you should not be doing. But most of the time, you should just let everyone be, Judging someone is different from guiding them to do the right thing if you think it's different. So, but then that's like, the same thing applies with friends. I say all relationships, be it children, be it family, be it friends, everything is pretty much similar. You just need to walk the fine balance as always.
Yeah. So going back to, you're a positivity coach and you are helping other people see the silver lining.
Yes.
How is it that you got to that space? Was there like a specific moment that you can recall where you took this decision?
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with my parents, because my parents kind of see the best in everything. If suppose you fall down, and then my mom will always comment that, oh, that was the worst thing that was supposed to happen today, so it's happened already, so you're good to go. So a lot of that, even my blog Silver Linings has the name Silver Linings since I think 2007, because I have always believed that every single day has something to learn or something to inspire you, or something, when you create something, you add something, the spark to your day. So I love thinking about that. And I think I have been through a lot in my life. Like in my college years, I was A plus student, and then in my college years, I wasn't doing so well in studies. And then when I started working, I was doing well again. But and still, I ended up choosing to be a stay-at-home mom. So my life has always been such that I've always been the odd man out, even in my own, like being Indian and being brought up in Kuwait.
Mm.
Always had to find the positive note in everything. Okay, fine. Oh, I had a fight with my friend, but then over the years they have been good to me. So that's how I look at things. If I get disappointed by someone, I'm like, oh, that's fine. But if you look at our friendship graph, overall we've been very good friends. So yeah, so I try to look at the best, and I have realized that a lot of us, especially as writers or as creators or even parents, we all need to empower ourselves to look at the bright side, because it life gets very tough. I mean, it is a fact of life that we all are struggling some way or the other. I mean, creating my magazine, I have daily struggles, and with my writers writing such inspirational stories, I read them and I'm like, oh, my life has different, but look at this, they have undergone something different and they have come out of it. So it's interesting to see that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you get to, I guess that when you meet other people and you see the struggle that they are through, then you get to be more grateful for the space that you occupy in this life and all the things that you're blessed to have.
Exactly. Like when last year my husband's office here shut down. He's still working with the same company, but all his colleagues, they moved away. So we didn't have, a lot of my friends moved away. My circle was pretty much his friends and their wives, and I started feeling lonely. And my best friend ended up moving too, and then I was like, I was pretty lost, and I started becoming icky, like, why is this person not calling me back, or why is this person behaving like this? And I realized that, after a month or so, I realized that I'm just plain lonely. I need to, have, my support system had gone. So I needed to find an outlet for me. And my husband said, why don't you start writing like properly, And then I started getting seriously into blogging and, try to give a positive direction to my loneliness. Because in parenting, the tricky thing is that you become very lonely. You think you're lonely when you're single or when you're not married, but when you're lonely surrounded by people, that's tough, because you are with your kids, especially a stay-at-home mom. You're with your kids all day long, and you're providing for them consistently, and you try your best all the time. But sometimes you need just one person to just go out with, or just have that have a couple of hours away from this environment, just to rejuvenate. And when you don't get that, you realize that, oh, I need to do something better than be cribby and cranky. So I was.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so I just was able to recognize that, and thankfully was able to give a positive direction. And then, as luck would have it, I started pitching to publications. And at first I was not getting anywhere, but after a long time, like 60, I have like 60 plus rejections, like people not answering back and stuff. And eventually I found my voice, and then I got selected on Huffington Post, and then I got into Thrive Global and Richmond Moms blog, and then I co-wrote a book with 100 moms. One of my stories is being published in a book. So my life took a complete 180-degree turn.
I'm really curious. So 60 plus rejections, right? And I guess that this is just like one of the things, many things that you've been through. What kept you going? What was the motivation behind that? Hey, Vlad.
Well, I've always wanted to write, and writing is my passion that I cannot let go of. Like, no matter what has happened in life, I have always written. My best friend in college was the first person to give me a diary, and I tell her that if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have continued following my passion, because she was like, you write so well. You need to have a book where you collect everything that you write. You can't just keep writing on scraps of paper. And my husband, on my wedding day, he gave me a book to write in, to record our memories in, and write my creations. And when I started blogging, and I realized that you need to know what you want to do in life. So my aim for last year was to become a contributor on a platform, on any large platform. That was my aim. No matter what, I just wanted to do that. I wanted to get into one publication, just get into one, and that was my goal. So I kept changing my plan. I kept, I was like, okay, if this is not working, let me read more. I read I have always read books about writing. I started reading books about blogging and what kind of post makes publications want these days. And there are many people out there who have been kind enough to help me, guide me, and tell me that, oh, maybe try this, or maybe try that, or maybe, because there is no magic formula. You just need to keep trying. A lot of people ask me, how do you pitch to large publications? I said, and my first question is, to whom have you pitched till now? And they say, oh, we haven't pitched to anyone. We are thinking of. I said, start pitching. That's the first step to doing it. Just start doing it. And then when you keep doing it, and especially start small, first do guest posting on fellow bloggers. And then a lot of bloggers want the stuff to be just right. So they will tell you that, you know what, I would prefer if you do this to your article. And I would prefer if you, would give a headline, and, they'll give you tips, and then you keep learning, and eventually you just end up getting it right. And you always need that one post that is just perfect.
Yeah. So look, Vlad is commenting, keep trying until you make your dreams come true. And I think that this is what happens for a lot of entrepreneurs, right? Like you build that resilience, like with sweat and tears.
Yes, there have been a lot of moments, and I was pretty much very depressed. I was getting depressed because, not depressed as in like serious depression, but yeah, it's kind of disheartening at times. But then you have to keep say, no, come on, let's give it a couple of days, shake it off, and then try again. That's how it should be. So, and that's what I did, and I kept trying and trying. And when I say 60, it is not that people have written me back; they just don't reply. So that's like a lot of people just like just don't reply back. So you're like, you wait and you wait and you wait, and that wait is like really horrible. If you get a rejection, it's fine, because you get some sort of input and that works for you because you learn from it. But when you don't hear anything, you're like, I wonder what went wrong.
Yeah.
So when someone asks me about advice, I tell them that send me your article. I'm happy to read over it, and I'll give you feedback, and maybe that'll help you. And that's a wonderful way to be able, because everyone has a different voice. You just need to hone it and keep doing it. And in any art form, that is, or when you're an entrepreneur, even when you're trying a business, you just have to find the right people to connect with, and then things just work.
Yeah, I wanted to touch upon something. So the positivity aspect of your business. I don't know if you've seen this. It was several weeks ago. I think I saw an article on Facebook that was saying that we are trying to build this positive thinking society, right? And that comes with a lot of repression and a lot of autoflagellation, because we need to be positive, and it feels that we are pushing anything that is not positivity, or like is pinpointing that we are these really brave and positive people. And I'm thinking, how does positivity actually look like for you, and how is it that you are accompanying your clients in like harnessing this mindset that is positive but is not damaging to their psychic and to their lives?
Okay, to this I have something to say about my husband. He often tells me that, why do you write? Because if you're noticing me, I like to talk, and he's complete opposite of me. Our wedding anniversary was last week, and someone said these are like two polar opposite people. And he always used to say that, like, why do you have to be so personal on your blog? Like, why do you write about these personal moments? And I used to tell him, I said, how can I show people to be positive without showing them the negative of it? So I don't say that be positive all the time. You cannot possibly be positive all the time. But the point is, you take time to process the negative emotions. Like when I just mentioned that I was lonely, I identified that I was lonely. I let myself process that loneliness, and I decided to take a decision to turn it into a positive note, So you can't just say that, oh, you're feeling sad. I find it weird. It's like, you don't need to feel sad. I'm like, don't say that. Let the person process their emotion, and then let them decide, give them a direction to decide that, hey, come on, maybe we can, look at it from this perspective too. Because like I say, I don't say that, be positive all the time. I say, look for the silver lining in your day, because there is always one, there is always that small thing. I do an exercise with my son, which I have found to change his perspective. He had started getting very negative because he's a very sensitive boy. And I kept thinking about what would work with him, because as parents, we experiment a lot. And and before sleeping, I started doing this exercise with him, where I would say, Tell me two good things that happened with you, and tell me one bad thing that you made better. So then he started thinking, he started having fun with it, that
Yeah.
oh, my friend pushed me, but then I decided that, I would help him up, or I would be nice to him, or he started looking for ways to figure out how to get that, change the negative into a positive. So, I'm saying that, in on my blog, if you go and see it on Silver Linings, you will see that I have written a lot of things that I have gone through myself. Like when my son was in kindergarten, the first week was very hard for me because I was surprised. I have always loved having them around me. It's like a need for me. So when he went away, I was sad. Like for the first month, I felt like he comes by 3 p.m. and then he has to go for taekwondo, and then he has dinner and he goes to sleep. I don't get any time for with him. So it was hard for me, and many other things, like even when we were trying to find out whether we were a boy or a girl. I really wanted a girl. I mean, everyone says it doesn't matter, but it was like, no, I really wanted a girl. And then someone said a very awesome thing, that they were playing with someone else's boy, and they commented, it's like, how awesome it is that you have a boy. They were talking to the father, that you can do whatever you want with him. And I realized that I'm just thinking about myself. If I have a boy, my husband has a friend for life. So that's like awesome. I mean, of course, it turns out my son is more attached to me than him.
Dreads.
And my daughter is more attached to my husband. But that turned my perspective around. I said, why am I just thinking about myself? Why don't I think about my husband? And how awesome it would be for him to have a son to do guy things with, because of course there are guy things that mother can't do. So but that's what it is. So no one can be positive all the time. You need to take time to process those rejections and those bad days and the disappointments and the anger, and then take a decision to decide that let's find what good came out of this, or maybe just let it go, because a lot of times there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to let that feeling go. I say, let that icky feeling go, give it time, dance to music, or do whatever makes you happy, and just start a new day.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So Vlad is saying, I read in a book recently about our problems, and it was something like that. I'm not sure what you are relating that to. Is it the part, Vlad, is it the part where Aditi mentioned that we need to acknowledge our emotions and just let go of them instead of constantly trying and pushing to be positive and basically faking or being positive all the time?
Yes, you should not fake anything. I mean, I'm the last person to tell anyone to fake anything in life. Even when I talk about blogging or writing, my first thing is to please be authentic to yourself and to your readers, and with your friends and with your colleagues. Your other bloggers in your niche are your colleagues. So be authentic with them, because the only way we can get ahead in life is by taking each other forward. So that's...
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Thank you for pinpointing this, because I think that it's sometimes all these holistic lifestyle pieces of advice, right? People take them very literally, like 100% you have to always smile and never show your emotions. Whereas absolutely there is a space, and I think that everything has a space in your life. It's just about providing that space for the emotions to come up, and then, as you said, to not cling to them. And I like this exercise that you are doing with your son, because you are basically helping them, helping him, and probably helping your readers and your clients, because probably that's what you do for them. To create alternative perspectives, right? To educate their minds to a mind that now probably goes directly into the noticing the negative and holding on to maybe revenge or to pain or sadness. To educate that mind to acknowledge these feelings and just let them go, and see how they can be transformed into something that is positive and empowering and helping you grow out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. So I'm curious about how, in your business, because you are not only a blogger and a mom, you are also a businesswoman, right? Yes. So how does your business success look like for you?
Well, I'm sorry, I have allergies. right now for me, business success is getting people on board writing with us, getting the children on board creating with us. That is what business success to me right now is. Because we are in the very initial stage of our building our website and building our writers. So okay, so that when I have people coming on board saying you have a great idea and we would love to be a part of your journey, that is success for me. Because the kind of stories that I'm reading about how the culture has affected people, like I have someone sharing a story. He's a traveler and he travels the world, and he's written about how his trip to Morocco was, where they didn't have food, and when they came upon, they found there were fries there. So those kind of stories like inspire me, because I would never expect a village in Morocco to have French fries, and that was surprising to me. Then I have a mother discussing about how difficult it was for her son to discover that they're an interracial family. So when you have people writing about their own experiences and their own lives, it is enriching for yourself. I mean, I've always read books, and I found that when you read about different characters, even if they're fictional, you can relate to some part of their life, right? And we all are human at the end of it. I mean, unfortunately, the world today has become very segregated because we have Facebook giving us only what we want to read, and Twitter giving us only what we want to read. We can choose what we want to read, but the time of the newspaper where you had different kind of stories coming in one place, instead of just, being a positive parenting place or being a do-it-yourself website. What if we had just one place where everyone would talk about their lives, and different viewpoints, of course, about when someone is writing about feminism in India and how they want their daughters to be raised differently than them. So these stories really inspire me. So when I have people coming on board saying that, and 85 no less coming back and saying that, hey, this is a great idea and we would love to support you. And that says a lot to me about my vision and my desire to see a positive world instead of the one we are in right now, where people don't like to hear different opinions. They want their opinions to be validated. Have you noticed that happens a lot these days? There are, like, I recently had someone saying that she's a successful blogger in her niche, and she was scared. She said, success is scary for me because now I have trolls coming in and saying that what you're doing is not right and we don't agree with you. And I said, but that's a good problem to have. I mean, there are going to be negative people everywhere, but you're successful in your fields, and that's more important than anything else, because it's important today to agree to disagree. And that's a lot of the problem on internet. I mean, I myself sometimes feel scared to voice my opinion because people say that, oh, you should not say this. I said, I can say this, but you can agree to disagree with me. I mean, we are people after all. We all have our own opinions. And so, and I always say this, I love to be proved wrong. I mean, if you can convince me what I'm thinking is wrong, that's awesome. I mean, because that's how discussions should be. We should have productive discussions, right? So, coming back to your question, is that right now that's what makes me really happy, and that's what is making me feel successful. That I have people coming on board daily. I have at least 2 to 3 people coming on board saying, this is a good idea. I started the idea in, I think, March mid. So from March mid to today, it's wonderful to have so many people on board writing with us. And we have a core team as well now who are really dedicated to being the whole soul of the magazine. So that's wonderful.
Really, March, like this year? So
yes.
It's
been a month and a half.
Wow. So Raising World Children came to like an idea.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool. That's really, really cool.
Yes. On March 1st, I bought the website. I decided for sure on the 30th of March. Sorry, on the month before that. Okay, and on March 1st, my husband said, this is a great idea that you have. You have to follow through on this. And I mean, like they say, behind every successful man is a woman, and behind my life is my husband. I mean, I cannot do anything without him. He is, and he even keeps me on the right direction. Like sometimes when you're running a business, you tend to think that maybe, I should try this, to get the right readers, and he'll say, no, stay true to your path. You decided to do this for the good of the world, stay true to that. It doesn't matter, I'll support you no matter what. And that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's beautiful. What about the coaching and the blogging business? When did you start that?
Well, I haven't been doing a coaching business per se. I give advice for now. I take on people as whoever needs help, because right now I just want to focus on raising world children off board. I've been doing freelance writing work, like I do sponsored posts and all that. So it's more about that. It had been more about that. And then I changed directions, because thankfully in today's world, you don't have to stick to one career in life.
Yeah.
You can mold yourself. And when you decide that this thing is right for you, you can start working on that. And that's wonderful about the world today, where you can go from lonely mom to blogger to freelance writer to the founder of a magazine, which hopefully will bring about a positive change in the world.
Yeah. And I was smiling when you mentioned Facebook, because it's really funny, right? Like, we are in this world that we feel really connected, and we feel that we have access to so much information. And then that's very much connected with what you mentioned afterwards, which is most of us are just searching for somebody or something to validate our already ingrained opinions and theories about life. So Facebook does that wonderfully, because of course you're not going to like somebody who thinks differently than what you think, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's like it's become like a vicious circle, hasn't it? Because Facebook keeps us all connected, and then its algorithm keeps changing, and then you see only things that you have already liked.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a very strong believer in reading the newspapers. Like the paper newspapers. My husband and I tell everyone, like, please buy a newspaper and read from the newspaper instead of, of course, Facebook has its own place. Pretty much all my business is on Facebook, and Twitter has its own place, and every social media, every tool in life has its rightful place. But then again, moderation is important, where you realize what is right, what is wrong, and what is the fine line to walk between it, isn't it? So people are so used to walking on the path that, it's easy for them, and that's what happens with kids as well, that they get so used to, oh, my friend has this, oh, I want this. All my son's friends watch toy videos, and I have recently realized that YouTube is not that safe a place to be for children. I really don't appreciate my son being so much on it, because I feel scared, because they keep clicking everywhere. They don't really realize what's wrong. Yeah. And then it's a bit scary. But when it is in moderation, and when you use YouTube Kids, it's much better. So, you need to use the right tool for the right thing.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I told him, I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going. You can watch whatever TV program you want, or you can watch Netflix or Hulu or whatever, but not YouTube videos for some time, till you realize what is the right thing to watch. That's.
I guess that as a parent, you are like really, really in touch with everything that is changing in the online sphere.
Yes, because like I said, my business is everywhere. So as active as I am on social media, my husband is totally not active. He doesn't even have a Facebook account. So we are completely moderate in that department. You can find me on Instagram, because I think Vlad was asking me what.
Which social media you use to promote your business?
Yes, I use Instagram, I use Twitter, I use Facebook, and of course my own blog, and a lot of podcasting, and I do a lot of live videos, interviews, giving advice and coaching to people who need it.
Okay, cool. Okay, what at this moment in your life and in your business, what do you find most rewarding?
Most rewarding is telling my son that your mom has become a well-known name in the writing circle. To be able to tell him that is pretty nice, because when I started volunteer work for Circle of Peace International last year, I could really tell him that, there was some good coming out of what I was doing. The work I was doing was helping children in Uganda. And now when I'm doing this, when I go to my page, Raising World Children, and I show him the stories and he's interested in them, that's rewarding to me, because I know I'm on the right path of, because if you can get kids engaged in what you're sharing, the content, that's what I want my website to be, where parents can go and read stories to their children that, this is how life is. So that's what, that's rewarding to me, because in the end, my children have always been my inspiration, be it writing, be it whatever I'm doing in life. They are what I live for. I mean, all parents do.
Yeah, probably. But it's beautiful, and it's interesting that you kind of like linked your mission as a writer and your mission as a mother, right? And you created Raising World Children for that purpose.
Yes, because I don't want my children to have a tunnel vision in anything in life, because that's very easy to happen because of, like I said, when you use social media in the wrong way of letting your tunnel vision be more defined, that is when it can become an issue. So if you have a place like, there are other blogs out there doing the same thing, but in a different way. So if you have children coming forth and seeing the broad world view, that is when you can raise positive global thought leaders. And that's what I'm trying to do.
I'm curious about what you did in Uganda, or like how were you helping kids in Uganda?
Oh, I did not go there. There's a company, sorry, there's a non-profit organization called Circle of Peace International. They are associated with Circle of Peace School in Uganda. And I do social media work for them, like doing their Facebook work or Instagram. I do their daily posts, their weekly posts. And I spread the word about them. So that's been very blessing. It's been a blessing when we can get donations for the kids, because the kids mostly there are living there in the school, and they are having a new building built, and they have got a new library. So that's pretty nice to have that, to be able to support that. Sorry.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. To be a part of that, right? Oh,
yes.
I'm hearing my voice. Yeah.
Yes. So it's a wonderful organization full of positive people who want to bring about a positive change in the world. And as I have been on this journey of since a year, I think 14 months, I would say 14, 16 months now, that I have found that there are so many other people like me who want to do positive things to bring about positive change in the world. And all the people who are coming on board are that people with that kind of thinking, who want the children to be culturally diverse, who want the children to have a positive outlook. So it is not that people, we tend to think that, oh, people are like that, American people, like my mom always says, American people are like that. I said, no, Mama, American people have pretty much the same values we do. It's different on television, because television just doesn't show the right things,
Yeah.
So... But television is not the right medium. You need to have people coming forth and discussing their point of view, which is, I feel, a great thing that a lot of mom bloggers do. They're willing to bare their souls and to write about their journeys so that others can experience through them what their life is like. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, I guess you find a lot of inspiration in other mom stories and in other people's stories, and it's very
not just mom stories, sorry, but I've seen a lot of fathers blogging as well, or artists creating stuff to inspire other people. There are so many people online, if you see them. The publisher of our magazine, of our book, 100 Moms, One Journey, is also a similar person who went from being an author to a publisher to a coach. Now she coaches people to get ahead in their lifetime, because she wants to help other people achieve what she has already achieved. So it's wonderful when you have a community of people supporting each other's dream and have a single vision for the world, which is to accept each other and to grow together.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious though about what kind of inspirations, like whom do you find inspirational? What are your inspirations?
Well, like I said, the publisher of our book is a huge inspiration to me. I call her, in India there's a story about Eklavya, so I tell her I'm your Eklavya, because I take lessons from her constantly. as she is a friend. We were in college together actually. She was in my hostel, and then we did not be in touch for a long time. And then I saw that, oh, she's come out with this book, and I found it so inspiring because she's an engineer just like me. I'm a computer engineer. She's an electronic engineer, and she left that engineering, and she left her double master's degree to become a author. So that was inspiring to me, for someone I know to follow their dream, in spite, because in India you have a lot of pressure about becoming an engineer and doing the 9 to 5 and having your paycheck in your pocket.
Absolutely.
So she is a huge inspiration. Then there is another blogger who writes a blog, Sleeping is for Losers. I admire her a lot. And also there are a few fellow bloggers who I admire, who are all on my Raising World Children writers group right now. So it's wonderful to have them with me. That's nice.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much, Aditi, for sharing all this and for sharing your soul. I'm really, I'm sure that your husband will be happy because yet again,
Yes,
you opened up.
He's very reluctantly proud of me. I appreciate how difficult it is for him to have me talk so much about our lives.
But for a great cause, right?
Exactly. So he is very proud of me. I can see it in his face. But sometimes I wish I wouldn't talk so much.
Yeah, and congratulations on raising world children, literally.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So tell us, where else can we find you online?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Adi Singh, and you can follow my blog on Aditi Wardhan Singh. You just Google my name and everything pops up. My Huffington Post, my Thrive Global, and of course, I would love for anyone out here to come and join us at Raising World Children and write with us and share their life stories on our platform, so that people can know what your corner of the world looks like. And it would be wonderful. And please sign up for Raising World Children and be notified of when we go live. So it will be wonderful to get a lot of support and see other open-minded parents empower their children with tools to become positive global thought leaders.
Cool. So everybody can see now the link to Raising World Children, and all the links will be also placed in the description of this video. Thank you very much, Aditi. Thank you very much, everybody who was online today and watched us online today. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for to everyone who was watching, and who will be watching this by sharing your precious time. You have shown that you support a positive change in this world. So thank you very much, Ankad, for having me on your platform and giving me this opportunity to share my message with your viewer base.
Thank you very much. Have a very happy day.
You too.
Bye.